Live from downtown Detroit, Local 4 News at 6 starts now.
The podiums are placed, all 10 of them. Yes, indeed. A Decipodium. And the Fox Theater decked out in red, white, and blue for round one of Detroit's Democratic debates.
Sky 4 showing the bustle outside the Fox as Detroit gets its latest close-up from the national media.
Ready for our close-up? I think so. Down here at ground level, we are now about 2 hours away from what we'll call debate number 2A. Does that make sense? After the first two in Miami, now we're down to 2A of a dozen Democratic debates.
Yeah, over the next 2 days here, we'll see 20 candidates, and that's really not even all of them. There are 5 who aren't here. That's because to qualify, you had to poll at 1% or more or receive donations from at least 65,000 individual donors. So there are actually more than 20.
Exactly, and those will keep ratcheting up as these candidates try to go. It's going to be tougher and tougher to stick around, so that's why tonight is so important. Tonight's lineup headlined by Elizabeth Warren and Bernie Sanders among this group of 10.
And tonight, our lineup includes Hank Winchester speaking with one of the people whose endorsement all of these candidates are hoping to get. But our Mara McDonald kicks things off with the keys to emerging as a winner tonight. Mara.
Well, Kimberly, first off, I want to show you all something. We're at ground level right outside the Fox, and you can see the line to get into this debate, which does not start for hours, has been around the block all day. People want to hear what these candidates have to say, and they better do some quick convincing because there are a whole bunch of them on this debate stage tonight who need the help.
Night one features Senator Sanders and Warren at the top of the polling, with all of the candidates from the Midwest up tonight as well, which means Buttigieg, Klobuchar, Ryan, and Williamson have a chance to shine and show some expertise.
And what everybody needs to remember is Michigan is a centrist state, and it's decided by independents in Southeast Michigan. So one of the things I'm going to be watching is who is actually not only speaking to Democrats, but speaking to independents in Southeast Michigan, where the general election is going to be won or lost.
He also sees a problem for some of the more liberal wing of the party if they start to savage the auto industry.
General Motors and Ford are well liked in this state by the voters. They are part of every family in Southeast Michigan, and I think they are going to be, if anybody goes after one of those companies, there's going to be a lot of voters who, in Michigan, in Southeast Michigan, who step back and say, hold it.
Joe Biden is not on the stage tonight. He's up tomorrow, but he's the front runner, which means all the arrows go his way. And while a poor performance on his part isn't lethal to his campaign,
he was caught unprepared by Senator Harris in the first debate. Will he be caught unprepared this time, or will he aggressively counter? Will he be prepared to counter? I think that's going to tell us a lot about the state of this race.
Those with poor polling numbers are going to need to do something tonight to juice their numbers.
Each of these candidates is going to have to distinguish themselves one from the other. Some are going to get winnowed out, so they're on life support. And then everybody needs to show that they have the stones and the stamina to take on Donald Trump.
Back here live, so the question begins, do Senators Warren and Sanders suck all the air out of the room tonight on that debate stage? We'll wait to see. And do any of these candidates up here start pivoting towards those Midwestern voters, which analysis shows are really going to be the deciding factor in 2020? We're live at the Fox Theater. Kimberly, Devin, back to you.
Now, part of, though, why we really want to see a fair fight, if you will, it would be nice to see everybody get an equal amount of time, which is not easy.
And the viewer, I think, the listener, understands more when everybody gets to talk versus fighting over each other. Yeah.
In fact, there are a couple of changes from the last debate. That was, I mentioned earlier, was held in Miami this last month. So changes this time around to the format.
Yeah, so according to CNN, colored lights will be used to help the candidates know how much time they have left. Yellow for 15 seconds, flashing red for 5 seconds, and solid red means, of course, your time is up. Any candidate attacked by name by another candidate will get 30 seconds to respond. There will be no show of hands or one-word down-the-line questions, and there will be consequences for interrupting candidates who do so consistently. They will have their time reduced.
That would be nice. Let's see if we can kind of enforce it, because it did get a little out of hand at times in Miami. So we'll see how the CNN trio does tonight. Paula Tutman got an up-close and personal look at where it all will take place, and it's a Detroit icon. Paula?
So this is certainly a different way to see the Fox Theater. We're going to have about 3,500 people each night. And let's show you this set because this is definitely political central. The candidates will be introduced. They'll be lined up in the middle. The national anthem will be played, and then it is on. The audience is made up of supporters, staffers of the candidates. Also, the DNC invited people from all across Michigan. So inside the debate hall, it is very much a private, ticketed affair. CNN says that it put out the call for questions. They got what they say hundreds of thousands of topic suggestions, but certainly the Fox Theater, known for the place that brings in great entertainment, this is an entirely different kind of entertainment. Certainly the stakes are very high. Guys, back to you.
Yeah.
Sure are. All right, Paula. Now, the city of Flint and its water woes, we've been wondering if that might end up being a topic at the debate tonight.
Well, now Flint's mayor is speaking out to her Help Me Hank, revealing her thoughts on the attention and sharing which candidates have reached out offering help with the water crisis.
Our consumer investigator, Hank Winchester, live with us now. Mayor Weaver had a lot to say. Hank.
Devin, Kimberly, good evening to both of you. She certainly did. Listen, everybody wants the endorsement from the mayor of Flint, no doubt about it. Flint was pivotal during the 2016 race, and you can guarantee Flint will likely be a hot topic tonight.
Will all eyes focus on Flint yet again? We saw it during the 2016 race. In fact, Flint hosted a debate between Hillary Clinton and Bernie Sanders. This time around, Flint will likely again take center stage at the debate hosted in downtown Detroit, just about 70 miles south of Flint.
You can say what you're going to do, but until we see some results, that's what counts.
You got to vote for the people that's going to do what they say they're going to do.
And you can bet people in this town and the mayor will be closely watching.
Do we think people have forgotten about Flint? I said, well, I'll tell you what, if they don't come through Flint, we know who we aren't supporting.
Mayor Karen Weaver tells me she won't be surprised if the candidates sound off about her city or use it as an example of what can go wrong in America.
What it helps Flint, though, is keeping our story out there.
Here are the Democratic candidates who've reached out and already met with Karen Weaver.
Booker, O'Rourke, about a month ago, Castro.
Okay.
I met with Gabbard when I was at the Conference of Mayors.
Castro, the first candidate of the 2020 race to visit Flint. Booker's words, though, impressed the mayor.
When I was meeting with Cory Booker, he was talking about being an advocate for Flint, whether he was president or if he remained in the Senate, that we would have a friend with him and a voice.
As for the Democratic frontrunner, Vice President Joe Biden, no visit yet, but the Obama team has remained connected.
I talked with him probably about 3-4 months ago. Okay. I did have a conversation. We talked over the telephone.
As for President Trump,
have you met with President Trump?
You know what? I had a conversation with him one time, and that was right after he got into office. I have had conversation with some of his, some of his staff about issues around Flint.
Hillary Clinton?
She was in Detroit not that long ago, and we had a good conversation then.
And Governor Snyder, who made news himself recently when his appointment to Harvard was met with criticism and later withdrawn.
Were you surprised by the move by Harvard?
Yes.
Yeah. Surprised that the offer was put out, or surprised that the offer was taken away?
Surprised it was put out.
Yeah.
I was surprised it was put out.
Yeah.
And it was disappointing. It was disappointing because it felt like another slap in the face to the residents of this city.
Back out here live in downtown Detroit, the mayor wants to make this clear. She doesn't care. Democrat, Republican, she's willing to meet with anybody as long as it can help the city of Flint moving forward. She will be in the audience tonight listening to the debate. She'll be back tomorrow. She says she hopes to have her endorsement, her pick, by the end of the week. We're live here tonight in downtown Detroit. Hank Winchester, back to you.
Yeah, we'll see if tonight tips that one way or the other then. All right, Hank, let's take a look at some of the crowds that are gathering now out in front of the Fox Theater. Jack White, famous for 7-nation army. We've kind of got a 10-nation army developing here. Everybody's got their own supporters out. Right now you're cued in on the area where we've got Elizabeth Warren's group right next to Amy Klobuchar's group, all trying to show their support and push their candidate on with a little bit of enthusiasm tonight.
A couple of Biden supporters back there, too.
Yeah, exactly.
Background.
Yeah. They get noisy. They've got it's like being at a soccer game every once in a while. We get hear some chants going up, and they're right behind us here, and there is kind of a cordoned off area. These the folks that want to carry signs and be a part of the support groups have to go through metal detectors. There's security down here for that, but then they're right in front of the Fox Theater. Now, I hope you'll join us tonight for instant analysis and a full recap of all of the night's action. And again, this is just the first half of the affairs that will be going on here.
We have team coverage and our talk to our Local 4 pollster, Richard Zuba, about which candidate stood out from the crowd, of course. He'll be with us live. All of that coming up on Local 4 News at 11.
All right, we've got some other news that we need to get to as well, though. Let's update you on a story that we've now been following for most of this week. Detroit police say they have arrested their suspect now in a deadly beating of a 24-year-old man from Berkeley.
Lawrence James Davis was arrested today off 8 Mile and Telegraph. He's being held at the detention center downtown before he's arraigned tomorrow. So Davis has been charged with murder in connection to Tyler Wingate's death at a Detroit gas station last week.
Also on the city's west side tonight, a 20-year-old man has now died after a hit-and-run crash there.
It happened at Pilgrim and Westbrook. The man was walking down Westbrook when he was hit by a car and killed. Right now, police don't have a description of the car involved in the accident. If you saw anything, call Detroit Police.
Other news tonight, General Motors' Warren transmission plant is now just days away from winding down its current operations.
Yeah, that happens Friday tonight. A lot of questions remain about the plant's future and what's to become of its UAW workforce. Local 4 business editor Rod Maloney is live tonight with a look at what all this means. Rod.
Yeah, Kimberly, General Motors announced the plant being unallocated last November when it did the same for a number of other plants, Detroit Hamtramck, and then, of course, Lordstown Assembly, which is the one that got most of the headlines. But here is the thing. There is going to be a negotiation in the national UAW contract to decide whether they keep this place open or not. But in the meantime, the workers are transferring to other plants.
To UAW members, the word unallocated means a life turned upside down. UAW 909 line worker Danielle Murray's uncertainty has her shaking.
The anxiety that I have, not knowing where I'm about to go and what's going on with my future, it's a hard thing to swallow.
Local 909 President Ghana Goodwin Dye welled up with tears.
This is wrong. I need the American public to know that if this can happen to us, it can truly happen to them as well.
She's referring to work moving to Mexico or China. In recent times, the plant built 6-speed transmissions for the Cadillac XTS and Chevy Impala, poor-selling large sedans. It also built electric modules for the Chevy Volt, built at the Detroit Hamtramck assembly plant, which is also now unallocated. GM tells us in the end it employed 262 UAW members here at the transmission plant. 25 chose retirement. 60 others transferred to other plants. Flint, Toledo, Bowling Green, Lansing, and Warren Tech Center, to name just a few. That leaves 177 in limbo. But GM said in a statement today, quote, "We have now placed more than 1,700 employees out of 2,800 from our unallocated plants to other GM locations. We have job opportunities for every hourly employee at the impacted plants. These are highly skilled employees, and we want them to stay with the company," end quote.
Now the question is, will they want to move someplace else? But let's not forget that the Democratic debate comes at the same time that they hold this news conference. The UAW, Democratic Party, very close allies, and it is likely that this is going to come up at the presidential debates either tonight or tomorrow. Reporting live in Warren, Rod Maloney, Local 4.
One more thing to watch for. Exactly right. All right, Rod.